Welcome to TractoMemo. Today, we'll explore the top 5 best used tractors worth buying, machines that are not only durable but also rich with the memories of rural America. And may I ask a small favor, please hit subscribe so TractoMemo can soon reach 1,000 subscribers, gain even more motivation, and ensure you never miss our next nostalgic journeys. Oliver 770. The year was 1958. Across rural America, the sound of change was everywhere, tractors replacing teams of horses, roads connecting towns, factories rolling out machines that promised to lighten the farmer's load. In Charles City, Iowa, the Oliver Corporation unveiled a new workhorse for this new era, the Oliver 770. Priced at around $3,700 when new, it was aimed squarely at mid-sized farms looking for a blend of power, comfort, and longevity. Production totals are not clearly documented, but the 770 quickly spread through the Midwest and beyond, becoming a familiar sight in cornfields, hay meadows, and dairy pastures. Today, well-maintained models can still command $3,000 to $6,000 on the used market, proof of their enduring reputation. At its heart was a 6-cylinder gasoline engine producing roughly 44 horsepower at the drawbar and close to 52 horsepower at the PTO. Rated at 1,650 RPM, the engine was smooth and steady, with enough torque to handle plowing, disking, or baling without complaint. Weighing just under 6,000 pounds, the Oliver 770 balanced strength with maneuverability. Its wheelbase stretched about 91 inches, total length over 135 inches, and overall width around 75 inches, giving it a sturdy but compact stance. A fuel tank of about 20 gallons allowed farmers to put in long summer days without frequent stops. The 6-speed transmission with 2 reverse gears was simple, durable, and easy to repair, giving operators flexibility in the field. But numbers tell only part of the story. What farmers remember is the voice of that 6-cylinder, a throaty hum that echoed off red barns and gravel lanes. They recall the sight of its green and white paint shining in the sun, the feel of its steel steering wheel beneath calloused hands, the smell of warm oil and cut hay mingling on a July evening. The 770 was never just a tractor, it was a companion to countless families who worked from dawn until stars filled the sky. From a modern buyer's perspective, the Oliver 770 remains appealing. Parts are still available through collector networks and salvage yards, and its mechanical design is refreshingly straightforward. Many repairs can be tackled with wrenches, grease, and patience. Still, age demands caution. Transmissions can show wear, hydraulic pumps may leak, and rust often creeps into fenders or frames. A careful inspection is wise before purchase. Yet when maintained, the 770 continues to deliver steady service, proving the durability of mid-century American engineering. The legacy of the Oliver 770 lies in more than horsepower or steel. It represents a chapter when America's farmers embraced modernization without losing their roots. It carried generations through planting and harvest, storms and sunshine, lean years and bountiful ones. To see one today, idling at the edge of a county fair or pulling a plow at a vintage show, is to be transported back to a time of open skies, handshakes at the feed store, and children riding fenders as the fields rolled by. Even now, when its engine roars to life, it feels like the heartbeat of an older America, steadfast, simple, and full of promise. Ford 3000. In 1965, Ford introduced a new line of utility tractors that would carry farmers through a decade of change. At the heart of this lineup stood the Ford 3000, built in Highland Park, Michigan, and later in Basildon, England. With a base price near $4,300, it was designed for small to medium-sized farms that needed a versatile partner. Ford marketed it as part of the 1000 series, tractors that blended modern design with rugged dependability. While exact production numbers remain unclear, the Ford 3000 became a worldwide success, selling across North America, Europe, and beyond. Today, surviving models often range from $5,000 to $9,000 on the used market, their value depending on condition and attachments. The Ford 3000 offered buyers a choice between gasoline and diesel engines. The popular 3-cylinder diesel produced around 37 horsepower at the drawbar and nearly 47 horsepower at the PTO. Rated at 2,100 RPM, it gave smooth performance with fuel efficiency that appealed to thrifty farmers. The tractor weighed approximately 3,800 pounds in base form, with overall length about 125 inches, width near 68 inches, and height to the steering wheel close to 56 inches. Fuel capacity was 13 gallons, enough for steady days in the field. Transmission options included a 4-speed, 6-speed, or an advanced 8-speed gearbox, with 2 reverse gears, offering flexibility for different tasks. Hydraulic lift capacity exceeded 2,000 pounds, allowing the 3000 to handle plows, mowers, and loaders with ease. Yet what made the Ford 3000 remarkable went beyond numbers. It was the way it fit the rhythm of rural life. Its 3-cylinder engine had a distinctive chugging sound, steady and comforting as it rolled down gravel lanes or idled beside a barn. Farmers remember climbing into its padded seat after a long morning, hands resting on the smooth steering wheel, a thermos of coffee nearby. Its blue and gray paint, gleaming in the sun, became part of the landscape itself, reassuring, familiar, and practical. As a second-hand buy today, the Ford 3000 still has much to offer. Replacement parts are widely available, thanks to the sheer number produced and Ford's global reach. Many farmers note its ease of repair, with straightforward mechanics that don't demand specialized tools. However, caution remains: hydraulic systems may leak, gearboxes can wear, and wiring often needs attention. Still, when maintained properly, the Ford 3000 is more than capable of continuing its duties, from mowing pastures to hauling wagons. The legacy of the Ford 3000 rests in its adaptability. It was never the biggest tractor, nor the most powerful. But it was the tractor that could do a little bit of everything, from baling hay to plowing gardens, from pulling wagons to clearing snow. In that versatility, it became woven into the lives of families across the countryside. To hear one running today is to hear echoes of the late 1960s and early 1970s, children waving from the yard, a dog chasing along the fence line, and a farmer nodding with quiet satisfaction as another row was turned. The Ford 3000 was not only a machine, it was a neighbor, a friend, and a steady presence through seasons of work and change. International Harvester 656. By the mid-1960s, International Harvester was locked in fierce competition with John Deere and Ford. Farmers wanted tractors that were not only powerful but also comfortable, efficient, and adaptable to the new ways of farming. In 1965, International Harvester responded with the Farmall 656, a tractor that blended muscle with modern features. Built in Rock Island, Illinois, the 656 carried a price tag of around $5,600 when new. Exact production numbers remain uncertain, but it became a steady seller across the Corn Belt and beyond. Today, used models in good condition often sell between $6,000 and $10,000, depending on configuration and care. The Farmall 656 was offered with a choice of gasoline, diesel, or LP gas engines. The most popular was the 6-cylinder diesel, producing around 56 horsepower at the drawbar and nearly 66 horsepower at the PTO. Rated at 2,300 RPM, it gave farmers strong, reliable performance for a wide range of tasks. Weighing approximately 7,000 pounds, the 656 stood as a mid-sized workhorse. Its wheelbase measured about 100 inches, overall length roughly 150 inches, and width near 80 inches. Fuel capacity was 33 gallons, a welcome improvement for long days in the field. Transmission choices included a standard 5-speed or the optional hydrostatic drive, known simply as hydro, which allowed infinite speeds within range and innovation that appealed to farmers handling loader work or tasks requiring frequent speed changes. Beyond its specifications, the 656 carried a new level of comfort. Operators recall padded seats that eased long hours, controls that fell naturally to hand, and a smoother ride compared to earlier Farmall models. The red paint of International Harvester gleamed in the sun, its tall stance cutting a proud figure across fields. The steady thrum of its 6-cylinder diesel became the background music of countless farms, from morning milking to late-night harvest. As a second-hand option today, the Farmall 656 is valued for its durability and the availability of parts. Many components are shared across international models, making repairs relatively straightforward. Collectors and farmers alike appreciate the hydrostatic drive models, though they require careful maintenance. Potential buyers should inspect for hydraulic leaks, transmission wear, and rust in the frame or sheet metal. With attention, a 656 can still deliver dependable service, whether pulling plows, running balers, or carrying a loader. The legacy of the Farmall 656 lies in its balance of tradition and innovation. It kept the rugged spirit of earlier Farmall tractors but added modern convenience that reflected a changing rural America. For many families, it was the first tractor that felt both powerful and comfortable, a bridge between the old days of iron and sweat and the new era of technology and ease. To see one running today, its red paint faded but proud, is to glimpse a moment when farming entered a new chapter. The Farmall 656 was more than steel and horsepower, it was a partner in progress, a trusted friend that carried farms forward through the turbulent years of the late 1960s and early 1970s. John Deere 3020. In 1964, John Deere launched the 3020 as part of its New Generations series, a bold step forward that reshaped the tractor industry. Farmers across America were eager for machines that were more powerful, more comfortable, and more efficient than anything they had known. Built in Waterloo, Iowa, the 3020 carried a starting price near $7,000, a significant investment at the time but one many farmers felt was worth every penny. Production totals are not precisely documented, but the 3020 became a bestseller, finding homes on row crop farms, dairy operations, and cattle ranches alike. Today, depending on condition and options, these tractors often sell between $12,000 and $20,000, with restored models fetching even more. Under its hood, the John Deere 3020 offered farmers a choice: gasoline, LP gas, or diesel engines. The most popular was the 4-cylinder diesel, producing about 70 horsepower at the drawbar and nearly 84 horsepower at the PTO. Rated at 2,500 RPM, it delivered strong, steady torque that made tough work seem lighter. The tractor weighed around 8,000 pounds, with a wheelbase close to 94 inches, total length nearly 146 inches, and width about 85 inches. Its fuel tank held 29 gallons, giving operators the endurance for long hours of fieldwork. Transmission options included an 8-speed synchro range or a power shift, the latter allowing clutchless shifting and innovation that won over farmers who valued convenience and control. But beyond the figures, the 3020 carried a presence that farmers still recall with pride. Its green and yellow paint shone across the horizon, a symbol of progress and prosperity. Operators remember climbing into the padded seat, adjusting the wheel, and feeling the engine's vibration travel through steel and soil alike. The sound of that diesel, deep, confident, unhurried, became part of rural America's daily rhythm. In the twilight, as dust rose behind a plow or baler, the 3020 stood tall as a trusted companion. For today's buyers, the John Deere 3020 remains highly regarded. Parts are widely available through Deere's vast network and the active community of collectors. The tractor's sturdy build and relatively straightforward mechanics make it reparable for those willing to turn wrenches. Still, caution is advised. Hydraulic systems can leak, transmissions, especially powershift models, require attentive care, and electrical systems may show their age. Yet, with maintenance, a 3020 is more than capable of returning to steady service. The legacy of the John Deere 3020 is one of confidence and innovation. It was not the largest tractor of its day, but it symbolized a shift toward modern farming. It gave families the sense that they were keeping pace with the future while remaining rooted in tradition. To see a 3020 still working today is to glimpse a bridge between eras of the hard, lean years when every acre counted and the hopeful years when technology promised a better tomorrow. Its silhouette against a setting sun, engine rumbling steady, remains an image etched deep in the memory of American agriculture. The 3020 was not just a tractor, it was a promise kept, season after season, across fields that stretched as far as the eye could see. Massey Ferguson 65. By 1958, Massey Ferguson had already become a rising name in American agriculture. Formed just 5 years earlier by the merger of Massey Harris and Ferguson, the company sought to prove itself with a machine that balanced strength, efficiency, and affordability. The result was the Massey Ferguson 65, a tractor that soon earned a reputation for dependability and practicality. Produced from 1958 through 1965, the MF65 became a cornerstone on small and mid-sized farms across the country. With a price tag near $3,800 when new, it offered impressive value. Exact production numbers are not known, but the model spread widely through North America and Europe. Today, depending on condition, restored examples often sell between $4,000 and $8,000. Under the hood, the MF65 came with multiple engine choices, including gasoline, diesel, and the highly respected Perkins AD 4.203 four-cylinder diesel. That Perkins engine produced about 45 horsepower at the drawbar and 50 horsepower at the PTO, running at a steady 2,000 RPM. It combined fuel economy with reliability, becoming a favorite for farmers who needed long days of uninterrupted work. The tractor weighed roughly 5,500 pounds, with a wheelbase of 84 inches, overall length near 125 inches, and width around 70 inches. Its 16-gallon fuel tank gave a good balance of capacity and size. Buyers could choose a standard 6-speed transmission or opt for the multi-power system, which effectively doubled gear ranges by offering high and low ratios. Hydraulic lift capacity approached 3,000 pounds, allowing the MF65 to handle plows, balers, mowers, and loaders with confidence. Farmers remember more than just the specifications. They recall the red and gray paint glistening under the summer sun, the rhythmic hum of the Perkins diesel, and the feeling of sitting on its sturdy padded seat after a morning of chores. The MF65 was versatile enough to move easily in barnyards yet powerful enough to pull 2 or 3 bottom plows through heavy soil. For many families, it was the machine that allowed them to rely less on hired labor and more on their own strength, bringing both independence and efficiency. As a used purchase today, the Massey Ferguson 65 remains a practical and respected option. Its Perkins engines are famed for durability, and parts remain widely available through both suppliers and salvage yards. Its straightforward design makes maintenance accessible, though age requires attention to transmission wear, hydraulic leaks, and frame corrosion. With care, the MF65 continues to serve as a reliable partner, even decades after leaving the factory. The legacy of the MF65 is one of balanced power without excess, simplicity without weakness, and economy without compromise. It reflected the optimism of late 1950s farming, when families embraced machines that worked as hard as they did. To see one today, still running across a pasture or pulling a wagon at a county fair, is to glimpse a chapter of rural life defined by grit, pride, and determination. And as we close our journey through America's fields, the MF65 stands as a fitting conclusion. These tractors were never just iron and horsepower, they were companions in the story of farm life. If you enjoyed this look back at the machines that shaped our past, please subscribe to the channel, share your own memories in the comments, and join a community that keeps agricultural history alive. Thank you for listening, and may the steady hum of these engines always carry us back to the barns, fields, and families they served so well.